Over in the West, Alberta's hospital system is being driven to the brink of collapse by a crushing fourth wave. The province is calling on the federal government for emergency health care relief. Meanwhile, Premier Jason Kenney replaced his health minister amid growing anger over the province's response to the pandemic. CBC's Arthi Pole is on this story. What is Alberta asking the feds for, Arthi?
Specifically, Suhana, the Municipal Affairs Minister, Rick McIver in Alberta, has requested more help from Ottawa with the capability to airlift COVID-19 patients who may require more help to other jurisdictions, other provinces that can handle that overflow. In addition to that, they need more critical care staff as part of what they're requesting. Specifically, they're talking about registered nurses, intensive care unit workers, staff that can work there, and also respiratory therapists. That is part of what they're saying is needed to aid Alberta's healthcare system, which is dealing with too much pressure because of the number of patients that they're seeing in this intense fourth wave within that province. And just to give folks a better picture of what it really looks like in Alberta now in terms of capacity, we're reading that Alberta's ICU capacity is currently at 87%. That is with surge space. That's with surge capacities, extra beds, the canceling of procedures. If it had not been for those measures that were taken in order to make room for more COVID-19 patients, they would be at about 170% capacity with their baseline operating. There are about 1,000 Albertans in hospital with COVID-19, 222 COVID-19 patients in the ICU. So a really dire situation in that province right now, and that help has been asked for. And part of the question that we're seeing now too is the handling from the provincial government when it comes to lifting restrictions and how that acted as a catalyst for this very serious fourth wave. Now, we did get a chance to speak with Dr. James Talbot, the former Alberta Chief Medical Officer of Health, and here's what he had to say.
It has asked for help late. It's put in effective measures late. We're still sitting here with voluntary vaccine passports, where other provinces have already shown that making them mandatory gives you the most bang for the buck. And so we have the lowest immunization rates in the country. We have the highest transmission of COVID, and this government is behaving as if it doesn't understand that there's a crisis.
And questions about the government's actions on this front really are front and center right now. We know that we were saying that the Municipal Affairs Minister sent out that request a day after the election, and Public Safety Minister Bill Blair had a response, essentially saying in a tweet that, you know, we've been engaging with the counterparts in Alberta for some time now, for the past week, to offer help. We're standing by. We're ready to help as soon as that request was received. It will be approved, and we will work to try and help Alberta. So a lot of questions on that front about the timing.
And what role is politics playing in all of this, Arthi, or is that just a dumb question?
You know, Suhana, it became an election issue, essentially, in the final stretch of the campaign. Jason Kenney's handling of the pandemic within Alberta. And we know that just yesterday we saw a cabinet shuffle there where we saw the health minister actually be shuffled out of his position, Tyler Shandro replaced by Jason Copping. So we did get a chance to speak with a political scientist, and he said that really, in his estimation, it appears that the provincial government in Alberta was putting partisan politics during the course of the federal election ahead of the well-being and health of Albertans. Here's what that political scientist had to say.
He was doing the premier's bidding and has been doing the premier's bidding. There's a reason that he was derisively called Minister Echo, you know, in a press conference. So he's taken the fall, but in fact, by removing him, people may actually have sympathy for Tyler Shandro for the first time.
So really, again, they're pointing to the politics of the entire issue, saying that Tyler Shandro had maybe been scapegoated by Jason Kenney. And we do know that the party is looking at perhaps doing a leadership review of the premier as well.
We'll talk again. That's CBC's Arthi Pole in Toronto.